in the March, I think end of March, before you guys come back at that again. But
and the Griffins are coming off a couple of big wins too. They beat Rockford in Rockford 4-0 on Saturday, and then they beat Milwaukee up in Milwaukee in a shootout, I believe, on Sunday.
Yeah, and that actually, I think that's high. I think Rockford. I got the standings there. Yeah, they're tied for first in points now with Rockford and Utica. There it was. I thought Rockford was alone, but no, they both have 35 points there. So, and two more coming up with them here, and that's you're up against the top of the conference as well. So, two with Rockford coming up in Grand Rapids before, as you said, it switches around. Then you've got 5 in a row coming up here at home after this one at Grand Rapids. The 2 with Rockford, 2 at Milwaukee, and then another one with Grand Rapids. Last one until the middle of March. Something else, too, real quick, before I let you go, Doug. I know we've only got a couple of minutes here, but I noticed it, thought you might want to mention the youth hockey experience. Talk to me a little bit about that. I know the Monsters are doing that contest all through the month of December. Talk to me a little bit about the Ultimate Monsters youth hockey experience.
Well, first of all, just as far as the youth hockey is concerned with the Monsters, we've got a guy in our staff, Dave Aiken, who does a great job as really the point person for all the youth hockey, the Monsters youth hockey relations, and getting out in the community. And you see, anytime you come to a game and you see, a youth game happening before the Monsters played, or if you know somebody who's had an opportunity to have their team play at the Q before a Monsters game. Usually it's going through Dave that helped to set that up, and I know a lot of people have a lot of fun doing that. But as far as the Monsters youth hockey experience presented by our friends over at Go Ortho, you can go to LakeErieMonsters.com, read all the info. You can register there, get an account and sign in. But you can enter to win the prize package, which includes appearances from the Monsters Hockey Girls, the Mullet Brothers, Sully to cheer on your team, in-game promotions. Contest ends January 3rd, so be sure to get online, get more information, and check that out.
All right, and you can, as you said, LakeErieMonsters.com, all of the information there. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk about next week when we get together. We'll have another slate of games here. We'll see how they handled another game with Grand Rapids, and then you've got the 2 with Rockford coming up over the weekend. When we hook back up on Tuesday, it'll be we'll be previewing Milwaukee back-to-back here coming up next week. So let's see what happens this weekend. Doug, enjoy. It'll be an interesting weekend all around here. Let's see if the Monsters and Cavs kind of matching that win streak here. Let's see if they can both keep themselves undefeated until we come back next week.
Yep, sounds like a plan. Thanks for having me as always, and we'll talk to you soon.
You got it. My man Doug Plagans, voice of the Lake Erie Monsters. He's with us here on the Sports Fix. Usually it's Tuesday, but not always. Most Tuesdays here during hockey season. Always a good time when Doug joins us. Check it out, LakeErieMonsters.com. Don't go anywhere. Let's take a break. When we come back, the doctor's in the house. Dr. Football, Bill Checkus, and we shift the focus of the show. The Browns, it's breaking everywhere now. We told you about it in the first hour of the show. Browns moving forward with Johnny Manziel as the starting quarterback beginning this weekend against the Cincinnati Bengals. Like I said, man, if you want to, and hey, at this point moving forward, it is let's see what happens. Number 2 is the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, just like number 6 was before him, and I'm very interested to see what he does. It will be a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement. Now, will that maintain once the game starts? We'll find out. But I was only half joking when I said, think back. I grew up in those late 80s era of the division and the battles and all of that, and nothing like making a legend. Eric Metcalf made his. Bernie Kosar made his against the teams in the division. Coming up against Houston. Coming up on Monday Night Football against Cincinnati. Well, here's the Bengals. First place, up for grabs. Let's see. It's a lot of pressure, that's for sure. But you know what? That's what the fun is of doing what we do. We get to talk about that. Coming up next, Dr. Football joins us. Let's talk Browns, the decision to go Manziel, the playoff races around the NFL, and more. Coming up next, talking football with Dr. Football here on the Sports Fix.
I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel it deep within. It's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster.
Warning. Listening to the Sports Fix could cause serious injury, bodily harm, or even death.
Ah, broken blood vessel!
You've been warned. The Sports Fix.
Hey guys, before we go to the break, I want to talk to you a little bit again about our good friends at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted, the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championships, some of the hottest fights in the world today. Each and every one of their huge events, Harry Buffalo is one of the few places in Northeast Ohio you can go there and watch each and every UFC fight at the Harry Buffalo. And let me tell you, I've been there. The people are out the door. They are to the rafters. It is one of the craziest environments for some UFC fights. Wing Mondays, they've got great deals on wings and drinks, and every day of the week there's a different special, a different deal. And don't forget the Bison Burger, the unbelievable. It is the combination of a fantastic burger and eating healthy combined into one unbelievable sandwich. You have got to get a Bison Burger while you're there. So whatever you're looking for, whatever day of the week, Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sundays, there's something for you at the Harry Buffalo North Olmsted, just outside Great Northern Mall. Check them out today. Harry Buffalo, join the herd.
Hey, this is Antoine Jameson, and you listen to the Sports Fix.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Ohio. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Sports Fix is now available every day on the world's largest internet radio service, iHeartRadio. Download the free iHeartRadio app, subscribe to the show, and get your fix.
Back in 1990, when I joined Herb in the booth, you could say that first game was when I became a lifelong Tribe fan. Something about Cleveland made us want to stay and call it our home, raise our family here. I can promise you one thing, home or on the road, I feel what you folks feel, what you feel every game. Cleveland fans are passionate and pretty vocal. I respect that. This is our team. This is our town. This is a Tribe town.
Hi, this is Dean Chenoweth, head coach of Cleveland's Lake Erie Monsters, and you're listening to the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix live across the Sports Fix Radio Network. J-Rock back with you guys as we continue on hour 2 of the Sports Fix here. Rolling on. J-Rock back with you, man. We're kicking it up another notch. Boom! Bam! Like Emerald as we roll on. Football time. Dr. Football getting ready to join us here. We've talked about it all. Hey, I spent half of my segment with Doug Plagans talking about Johnny Football. So clearly that's the focus of today's show. And Browns, I mean, you got to think they know the cat's out of the bag. I would assume they're not going to go through the semantics of waiting until tomorrow to make this thing official, but who knows? We'll see. Either way, Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel is going to start this weekend for the Browns against the Bengals. And I'm just saying, you want to, hey, listen, man, we can go into fantasy world, man, and that's fine. And I'm just saying, I remember watching, I know you guys do, I'll go find the clip and put it up on our social media. Remember Eric Metcalf skip-a-dipping on Monday Night Football against the Bengals, making that legacy. That's where it started, man. And I'm just saying, the one thing the kid can do is run. And I'd like to see him run all over the Bengals, man, and go out there. Because hey, here's where you got to delineate yourself. I truly do, guys. Let me say this. For those of you guys that know where I'm at and where I've been with this, I don't think that he's going to work in the NFL. I'm just saying he may be a short-term hit, but guys like this, they last for a while based on their athleticism, and then we'll see. But regardless, bro, I'm a Clevelander through and through. I'm a Browns guy from the day I was born. I hope that he hits the field and that the legend of Johnny Football makes me spend the next 10 years going, this kid's been proving people wrong since the day he started in the NFL. Trust me, that's a story I would love to tell over and over for the next 10 years. But that's up to him now. He's got his opportunity, and we'll see against the Bengals coming up. Like I said, something juicy about starting it against. If you're going to do it, go do it there. You know, like I said, Bernie coming up against Houston and beating Pittsburgh after all that time. And then Metcalf against the Bengals, so on and so forth, man. But hey, we'll see, and it'll be a lot of fun. I know that. Let's talk about it with Dr. Football. Bill Checkers, you can keep the conversation going on Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at the SportsFixCLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. And in the midst of all this, as if the kid doesn't have enough pressure that he put on his own shoulders and that everybody is well putting on his shoulders, the media has put it on his back. Hey, you got the nickname. Go live up with it. But on top of that, Browns find themselves in the middle of a 3-game race for the AFC North title. I almost called it the Central, so that'll show you where my mindset is right now. Let's talk about it all. Facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at the SportsFixCLE. Bruce, I'm with you. Doug Flutie, to me, is a great example. A guy, hey, look at all of them. Michael Vick, Cam Newton, all of the running quarterbacks, RG3, they all had that initial year. They all had, when your athleticism will carry you, can get you through for a while. It's the other stuff that you do that determines if there's more to it, and there's the sheer luck of not being injured along the way. And the size does play a bit into it as well, but hey, that doesn't mean everything. Nothing means everything. You can go out there and make your life whatever you want it to be, and we'll see if he can make it Johnny Football life. We'll talk about it. Dr. Football. I almost called you Doug Flutie. Dr. Football, Bill Checkers. How you doing?
I wouldn't mind being compared to Doug Flutie.
That's right, man. Get some Flutie flakes, man. I'm with it, man. But welcome in, first off, Doc Football. You always pick some good days to join the conversation here as the winds of change swirling here. I mean, really, even if this hadn't been official today, this was what you and I were going to be talking about here today as we got going. So it's good that we have some definitive things to discuss instead of, well, tomorrow. Browns are moving forward. I mean, really, no matter what you think of Johnny Manziel, Brian Hoyer, the Browns really were left with no choice. And I go back to what I said earlier. I don't know, Bill, if you got to watch the press conference yesterday or go back to Browns.com and watch it, but the look on Mike Pettine's face said it all. It was, number one, it was the look of a guy who had been kicked in the gut, as he said, from the way they lost that game, but it was the look of a guy who was being forced to do something that he truly hoped he wouldn't have to do and that he thought and believed he would not have to do. And he gave Brian Hoyer and the Browns offense, it's not just Brian Hoyer, he gave the offense one more chance, and they didn't get it done. And at that point, what can you do? How can Mike Pettin look at that locker room this week? He could do it last week. How could he look at them and say, Brian gives us the best chance? I don't think you can say Johnny gives us the best chance to win either, but you can't say Brian does anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. And I didn't see the press conference, J-Rock, but I heard it. I heard it through one of the radio outlets. And I'm going to tell you, the depression was dripping in his voice. You could tell that he was a guy who had no answers for this.
Absolutely. And I see Ron tweeted, he tweeted out, he's live tweeting the show. He tweeted my direct quote, I've been a Browns fan, or Browns guy since I was born. I hope Johnny starts his legend this Sunday. But you know, all seriousness, that's the downside of this too, is that there's a lot of people, and I hope that the expectations are kept in check here, because there are going to be ups and downs here, obviously, with a rookie, and with a rookie that plays a very aggressive, risky style of football as well. So, you know, just keep that in mind. But that being said, putting the past in the past and moving forward here. The biggest question I've had all along is there a reason